Hi, everyone. This is Ruth from the Happiness Project, and I wanted to talk a little bit about abusive relationships and EMDR therapy. So, what I wanted to bring up is patterns that I've seen with women over the years who tend to repeat abusive relationships. So, what I've noticed is there are women that make a lot of progress on their own. I've had multiple women say that back when this guy, was really violent, it was really dangerous, and then the next guy was maybe less violent, maybe just some pushing or punching holes in the walls or whatever, but wasn't nearly as bad. And this guy over here never laid hands on me at all, but this guy was super controlling and emotionally abusive and belittling. And then this guy, so it would move on, and people would make progress on their own as they grow. And this growth pattern might take a decade or multiple decades. So I could see growth and strength building. However, it's still decades of unhealthy, bad relationships. And some women never even grow from those specifically, but they're powerful women in other areas of their lives. So I've had multiple women say, you know what, I've decided just not to have relationships, which in and of itself is okay, except they would like to. They just don't want it to be unhealthy and violent. So they just say no more, no relationships at all. And it's unfortunate that that's the reason. If they chose it because they wanted, if they preferred that, that's one thing. But I would like a relationship, except it always turns into this. Therefore, I can't have one. That's unfortunate. So, what I've noticed is that when I've been seeing women that have this pattern, um, so EMDR therapy is thought of as a trauma therapy. And sometimes women that are in these patterns have some sexual abuse or some trauma. But sometimes there are other things that just contribute to a very basic belief in themselves that they're not worthwhile, or they're unworthy, they are shameful, they're not good, they're bad. It doesn't have to be, the extreme version of trauma. It could just be a very invalidating environment growing up that left them so insecure, because a woman's insecurity can and will be manipulated if a manipulator finds them, and they do seek that out. So those insecurities come out early in the relationship, and sometimes healthy men will back off, not wanting to deal with that or not knowing how to handle it, but the manipulator will jump in and make them feel wonderful and get them on the hook, and then you end up with a narcissistic guy that knows how to control you, or there's a pattern to these things. So the thing is, it can take years or decades to grow from this, and to get to a healthy relationship, there has to be huge shifts in that. But one of the hardest things to really change is a very basic sense of whether or not you're worthwhile. Well, that's where EMDR comes in. So EMDR is about changing the core beliefs, the things that are deeper than what's cognitive, deeper than what is logical, right? So if logically I know that it's bad to get in that type of relationship, or to go back to the man or whatever's going on. Logically, there's a lot of things, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense. And then emotionally, when it begins, I'm caught up in the same storm. So guess what? Emotional storm will trump logic when it's strong enough. And that's why these things can keep happening. But if you heal what's deeper down, that's creating those emotions, that the core way that you believe about yourself and your worth, that changes everything. I've had multiple clients who, after just a few months only of therapy using some EMDR, have outgrown their current unhealthy relationship. And it just, they've even found it as strange, like it just doesn't have a hold on me anymore. He's throwing out the same manipulations, and I find that my heartstrings aren't attached, or it just has no effect anymore. This can happen so much faster. Instead of, 3 decades, it could be 3 months. And you start to learn a healthier relationship because the emotional buttons aren't there anymore and you're healthier. So I wanted to let people know that I really want this to get out there. EMDR can change everything about how you do your love relationship so you can care about you and have a healthy relationship. So that's what I wanted to share for today, and I hope everyone's doing well and found this useful. Please share if you thought so, and see you next time. Bye.